another Anthony. Morning, sir.
George, what are you going, brother?
I am good enough, sir.
All right, morning, Tana. Morning, Tana.
Morning to you, Anthony.
The queen of the morning.
Of course.
Good morning.
Josh, I love what's on your mind this morning. I like the comparison with the two data from Mr. Anderson thing. You know, we not criticize Polestar, you know. We look at what they're saying because poll is a snap in time. However, George, and as a caller just pointed out, I think that's the element of your thing this morning that you had left out, saying that one, the PNP in opposition has been campaigning for over 4 years. All right. And if at best the poll is showing them within that margin of error of 3% and stuff, I think that should be a cause for concern for them, because the question is then what would they have gained from all of those campaigning for over 4 years?
Yes.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then now that the JLP is out now, actively campaigning now and stuff, would it be safe to say that the JLP is gaining momentum at the right time with the election pending, while the PNP is either stagnant or in reverse?
Let me tell you this, Anthony. You see, the take that you have, it can't be wrong.
Yeah.
You have people who will have you believe that when you're analyzing polls and trying to see what polls are telling you is going to happen, that there's a school of thought that is more correct than others. However you interpret it, it is fair and is to be respected. And I see what you're saying. I'll say this to you, though, that you must not forget that propaganda, the manipulation of information to suit a certain purpose. So you tell a half-truth, you tell a blatant lie, you design a campaign around lie. People don't accept and understand. Political parties, especially ones in opposition, and I'm not saying that because the PNP is in opposition, because the PNP is only in opposition, no. You know, the time from now, they could be in government and the JLP is in opposition, and what I'm going to say will apply to them as well. Political opposition parties operate in their election campaigns with a lot of propaganda, and some of it is driven by lies. That's a fact.
Right.
Because you remember, you know, your role as a party, you know, in opposition, you know, is to try to have the people be doubtful about the government in office, doubtful about their sincerity, doubtful about their skill, and just doubtful about whether or not your interests are best served with them in charge of government. If you have to tell lies to achieve that, you do, and all over the world, that's a part of campaigns. People think everybody is just honest and men and women of integrity and doing what's best for the country. It's not about what's best for the country, it's what's best for the party. And make no mistake, Anthony, you're older than I am, right? But even so, not think so, of course. You know, see it in your face. in your lifetime, in our lifetime, most times when a party is coming into office in Jamaica, the lament is that, boy, the country has been wrecked and we're coming to save it, and there's no money there and there's no this there. For the first time in my lifetime and in years, whomever takes charge after the next election is taking a country, in relatively speaking, an excellent place. Not an excellent place by itself, but in context of where we have been. There are resources there to spend. There are building blocks, solid plinths to build on. There are foundations set right across. So the riches and the rewards at stake now are higher than they have ever been. Why do you think people then would spare telling lies to get into office or to hold on to office?
One other quick point, because I noticed that your break is coming up. I am really looking forward for NEPA to respond. And I say this beyond the context, George, that public sector workers are paid to do a job. And time again, they fail to do their job properly. And you know who get the blame? the government of the day.
Yes.
And stuff. And I think that needs to end need to come to that, and the persons who are paid to do their job being held responsible for what they are paid to do. That's my final thoughts, my
Yeah,
brother.
the claims against NEPA are extraordinary because I don't know NEPA's investigators to work in the way that has been suggested by what the picture the DPP has painted based on the material that her office has handled. So I find,
Right.
which is why I'm so vexed, because I feel to believe that this is so, but the DPP says so, and these things were not said in a throwaway manner. They were said in court and formalized into a statement. So that's what I'm working with until I get information to the contrary. Thank you this morning, sir.
Right. Yeah, man. Blessing.
All right.